Hello, Hoxby's. My name is Lisa Shan, and welcome to Hoxby presentation. We usually do this as a webinar, and in fact, I still run those once a month. Look out for the information in New Hoxby support. But I'm just recording this version to have a nice, clean, tidy version for sharing across the community. The purpose of this session is to give you some general insights into Hoxby, essentially combining commonly asked questions and confusions we've noticed across the community, particularly for people that may have just joined the community, but people that have been in there a little bit longer as well. If we don't get to your question, if I don't cover something that you were wanting to know, please don't hesitate to contact me directly on Slack, send me a direct message. And also, please do feel free to contact me with any feedback of what was useful or possibly what wasn't useful at all and something that might be useful that wasn't included. As a quick introduction to me, as I said, I'm Lisa, and I currently have responsibilities leading selection and onboarding here at Hoxby. I joined Hoxby in June 2018, so at the point of making this video just over a year ago now. As of yet, just as an interesting point of information, I have worked for the core in my responsibilities to selection, but I haven't worked on an external client project for Hoxby. Now, in my case, that's been because the responsibilities I have within the core perfectly complement the clients I have outside of Hoxby, and so I haven't kind of needed that extra revenue through Hoxby. It means there might well be some things that people ask me that I don't know, that I haven't had experience of myself, but usually I can point people in the right direction. So just to give you a little bit of background. Hoxby was founded in May 2015 by Lizzie Penny and Alex Hurst, who had previously worked together at a traditional marketing agency. They both, for their own reasons, which they are very open and happy to talk about, became frustrated with the traditional work model. Everybody travelling to work at the same place at the same time on the same days. And it's funny because we often talk about the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 model, but I think most of us know it's Monday to Friday, if we're lucky, 8 till 7 probably, but that sort of model. And they just thought there has to be a better way, and hence the brainchild of Hoxby was born. We will say it time and time again, loud and proud, we are ultimately looking to collectively change the future of work and create a world of work without bias. That is everything that Hoxby stands for and is aiming to achieve. But importantly, whilst enabling clients to receive outstanding outputs, we don't believe that one has to necessarily mean that the other can't take place. In terms of what we're not, and this is equally important, we're not a jobs board, we're not a recruitment agent or a job swap platform, not any of those sort of models. We are a community that actively curate freelance teams together and work collectively on client projects to deliver that excellent work and exceptional value to the client. So whilst we're a strong network with work opportunities, it is really important to state in that order, that whilst we get work, we don't make any guarantees of it because we simply can't. We're all self-employed freelancers. Now, having said that, as I will come on to talk about in terms of the values of the community, the more that everybody gets involved and plays their part, hopefully the more that the community benefits as a whole and the more that people are in work. So for those of you that don't know, Hoxby actually stands for the happiness of others times the best of you. And here you'll see our ethos and values. So again, as a community, the more that everybody participates and the more that everybody gets involved, the more we as a community and as individual freelancers can flourish. So in terms of ways to do that, we talk about playing your part, and you'll see us talking about 1+1, which is there. And what that means is that we ask every Hoxby to aim to refer one client and one potential Hoxby to the community every year. As I said, if everybody did that at the moment, again, of making this recording, we're about 800 associates. So if everybody were able to refer a client to the community every year, that would be, at this point, 800 clients, which would be simply phenomenal, and everybody would benefit. So that's what we ask of our Hoxbys, and that's safe to say, if you know 50 people you think would be suitable for Hoxby and 5,000 clients, then absolutely, we don't want to limit you, but we do ask everybody to think about 1+1. And hopefully, in your journey so far of joining Hoxby, you will have seen some information with regards to our causes. So as I said before, we are ultimately looking to collectively change the world of work and create a world of work without bias. We believe at Hoxby that the traditional model doesn't work for anybody. It might well be that you have your spark of inspiration at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. It may be Wednesday at 10 a.m. You have a really productive hour and then just aren't feeling it, or any other millions of reasons that for anybody that standard Monday to Friday 9 to 5 model doesn't work. However, we do believe the traditional model is particularly disadvantageous to certain groups of people. So as such, this year, we're focusing on a number of causes, a number of groups that we feel are particularly disadvantaged in the traditional workplace. And each of these causes has a channel in our Slack community, a place for people to come together, share articles, to communicate, to talk, to ask for advice, but also a team within every cause are building a proposal to eventually go out to clients and work with them with these models in mind. But of course, it all has to start with Hoxby, and so we also want to be the golden standard ourselves. So just to give you an idea of the causes that we currently have, we have cause autism, cause carers, cause ethnicity, cause gender equality, cause illness, cause mental health, cause older workers, cause physical disabled, and cause working parents. Personally, myself, I'm involved with cause autism because I'm particularly passionate about it, but also a big advocate for cause working parents because that's something that's particularly relevant to myself. I went freelance when I had my daughter, in fact. So what we do ask is that all new Hoxbys can join at least one of those cause channels and get involved. And getting involved and engaging with that channel can mean anything that suits you and your work style and your availability. So it may just be joining discussions, it may be sharing stories, personal or on the news, or volunteering time to help develop that project. And here on the right, you'll see all of our values, which are extremely important to us, and hopefully you'll see them time and time again over the community. I've just this second noticed a mistake in that the third value there, give, get, has been recently renamed to play your part. So my apologies if you see give, get anywhere, please remove that from your minds. That should be play your part. But again, all values that are extremely, extremely important to Hoxby and what we stand for. In the essence of time, I won't go through each of these at length at this time, but what I did just want to do was highlight a couple of them that I think are particularly important to mention. So again, hopefully in your journey so far, you will have seen us refer to work style time and time again. And a really important value to us at Hoxby is respecting the work style. So one thing that you will notice moving forward is that we rely extremely heavily for our communication on the platform Slack. So if you haven't signed up to Slack yet, please do so. That's really, really important. Although the initial onboarding emails were sent via email, communication about the community really is done through Slack. And there's an important reason for that with regards to respecting the work style, in that we value people's time and priorities, and so we think if you're texting people or emailing them or calling them even, you're inherently inserting yourself potentially into their personal time. So we aim to keep all of the communication via Slack so that people can then choose to sign in when they're available to Hoxby and when they're working, and then they're not bothered by those messages when they're not. The only thing that we ask everybody to do is Slack has the option to edit your profile. So if you could put your general work style into your profile, but then also use the status to keep the community updated on a weekly basis as to when they can sort of expect you to be online. But as I say, otherwise, Hoxby very much believes in outputs based. So if you are involved in a project, when and how you choose to complete that is completely irrelevant, as long as obviously any deadlines you've committed to are met. And the other one I just wanted to mention was always improving. Really, really important. So Hoxby as a community is growing fast, and hopefully growing exponentially as the future continues. There is always ways we can be improving. We're always looking to improve, always happy to improve. So please don't hesitate to get involved, especially if you're watching this as a new Hoxby, coming to everything with fresh eyes. If you see something that you think can be done better, please do come to us with a solution over a criticism, and we'd love to have you involved in moving the community forward. 5 ways to earn with Hoxby. So I think this is a really important topic to cover. Often when people are joining the community or thinking about joining the community, they are thinking about working on client projects through Hoxby, which obviously, hopefully you will, and is an important part of being Hoxby. But what I wanted to discuss here is that it's by no means the only way to be involved and to earn money through Hoxby. And again, different ways can work for different people at different times. So as it says here, the 5 ways are certainly not in isolation of one another. We have associates that earn money 2 or 3 ways, some that only earn money 1 way. And it says here one hit Hoxby who's hit all 5, but I think that's far more Hoxby's by now. As I mentioned, and we'll talk about obviously what exactly that means, I currently earn money through Hoxby doing core work. So not necessarily through the other models, because again, it works for me and my portfolio. But just to give you some information briefly, so client work, I'll go over this again in a little bit more detail when we look at the frequently asked questions. But just to start off by saying, at the point of recording this session, we share any opportunities via the Hoxby_projects channel. So please do keep an eye on that for any projects and anybody that we're looking to take part in any of the various projects that we have. They'll all be posted there. The reason I say at the moment of recording is we are working on a fantastic and exciting platform in the background to make this all a little bit cleaner and more intuitive. At the moment, unfortunately, it's just one long stream of a channel. So for now, please do look there. But just to say, really exciting improvements are afoot. Also, if you have any particular specialisms, do be sure to look up the particular team channels. So, for example, I'm part of Team HR and Team Admin, because any opportunities that are very specific to those skills will also be posted in those channels, or potentially only posted in those channels. So it's really important to be active in those channels as well. When you are in Hoxby projects, you will see a curation post go out. So whenever we have a project that requires a certain set of skills, there'll be almost like a mini job advert, and it will let you know the responsibilities and the skills that are needed, the sort of time commitment, the work style, which usually is anytime, anywhere, because that's what Hoxby stands for, and the agreed day rate. So you will be able to put your name forward and express an interest in that opportunity if it's something that both interests you and obviously fits with your current availability. When you apply, depending when you applied, we often ask for what your typical day rate is to have an idea if we're doing any searching in the other direction. But if you do apply to an opportunity, it will say the agreed day rate. So do please make sure you confirm that you'd be happy working at that day rate. Once you are on a project, we have a really nice software called Workflow Max, where you can record the time that you've spent on that project, obviously in line with the budget and what's been agreed with the project lead. But what's really nice is you are paid on the 14th of the following month when those hours were recorded, regardless of whether or not the client has paid Hoxby, which is a really nice situation. We're all freelancers and know that getting clients to pay us is one of the less pleasant parts of the job. So Hoxby takes that worry. Hoxby takes that worry away from you. And just to take this opportunity to mention that it will soon be the case that you can only apply to a project if you have completed your trial. So again, I'm going to mention that later on in this presentation, but if you've not yet done so, please do go over to new Hoxby's _your trial and read all of the information there and sign up to anything. If you at this stage are accepted onto a client project, if it happens very quickly once you're into the community and you haven't completed that trial, it will default to our previous trial process, which is that you would be paid 50% of the agreed day rate for the first 15 hours that you work on that project. Okay, obviously there's so much more I could say about client work, but just to give you an idea. Going on to Hoxby High Five, which again, you might have seen that term bandied around, but to give you an idea of what it means. And again, this links back to what I mentioned earlier about playing your part and helping bring work to the community. Basically, what High Five refers to is that for making a referral, a new client or new business opportunity to Hoxby, providing the background on that client and the project brief, you will receive 5% of what we invoice the client for that first project. And we just ask that you're sort of available for informal advice and input, etc. So yeah, then and again, there's a channel that is called High Five. So there's lots more information that you can see there. Core work. So as I mentioned, I work for Hoxby Core in a freelance capacity. Hoxby, as with any other organisation, needs to function. We need to pay people. We need to recruit people into the community. We need to develop our website, and all of those things are obviously for the Hoxby Collective themselves, not for an external client. So that's what we're referring to when we talk about core work. Those opportunities are advertised just as the opportunities for client work are. Currently in that Hoxby Projects channel, soon to be in a very exciting new platform. So you just watch out for them, just as you would do with any other projects. What I think is great about working for the Hoxby Core is to really get a deep understanding of how Hoxby works, some of the key people within the community. So I think it can be a really positive thing. It certainly has been for me, and obviously helping the community fulfill our mission. The only thing to be aware of with Core, but you will see this on any postings for any opportunities that we have, is that the maximum day rate of any opportunities for Core is at £250 a day, whereas on client work it's obviously just determined by the budget, so it can be higher than that. But you'd be aware of that if you expressed an interest in an opportunity. The last two, obviously going on to another level here, but just to say that you can be as involved as you want to be with Hoxby, really. So managing director. Under the umbrella of the community as a whole, we have a number of standalone business units. So, for example, marketing, HR, admin, finance, future-proofing, innovation. My apologies if I've forgotten anybody. But we have an MD who runs that unit as their own, obviously with the support and protection of the community. And whilst they aren't salaried, they take 10% of the net profit of their unit per year. So they're really wholly responsible for growing that unit and pushing it forward. So it's a really long game and chance for creating something from the ground up within Hoxby. And lastly, the sky is your limit, being a partner with Hoxby. So currently just over 25% of Hoxby is owned by partners. There's obviously a buy-in fee and remuneration in terms of bonus and dividend, as with any sort of partnership scheme. So I won't go into lots of detail about that, but again, the idea is that you can be as involved as you want to be, and people that embody those core values that we have really can go through all of these stages. I've mentioned this, but just to mention it again, we ask that all new Hoxbys complete a trial, which is 7.5 hours, 1 day worth of tasks, and that's divided into credits, either 1 credit, which is that full day, or 2 0.5 credits to make up that day. Lots and lots of information about that, so do please head over to that channel just as urgently as possible. We ask new Hoxbys to complete that trial within the first 2 months of joining us, but again, hashtag respect the worst style, we do appreciate that can't always be possible. So if you do head over there and just let us know for any reason that that wouldn't be feasible for you, then that's absolutely fine. But the sooner that you can do, the better. So some frequently asked questions. How does Hoxby Win work? So we win work in a number of ways, from previous clients, from the power of our own network, play your part, high five that I talked about, and from actively responding to help requests on LinkedIn and having a strong social media presence. We have a team of business developers that sit within the commercial team and are linked to all of the different departments. They have different specialisms. So we have BDs for HR, we have BDs for finance, PR, etc. If you are interested in being a business developer, the best person at this point to contact is Kerry Kiel, Kiel, but do also please drop a direct line to me if you want to know more information, and I'll point you in the right direction in case anything's changed since I've made this recording. A really important thing to talk about is the difference between Hoxby Marketplace and High Five. So if you haven't had a chance to look at this channel, it's a really nice one, the Hoxby Marketplace. It's an informal place for people to share opportunities. So something that they might have come across through LinkedIn, or they might have heard about from a friend. Basically, any opportunities that people want to pass on to their fellow Hoxbies. In a very broad sense, the idea of the Hoxby Marketplace versus a High Five is that High Five should be a bigger project of value to Hoxby, whereas Hoxby Marketplace is just small individual pieces of work that wouldn't necessarily be right for Hoxby. However, if you are unsure in any way, shape or form, do go over to that Hoxby High Five channel. There's a form to complete, or you can just speak to the team there to see if it's a right opportunity for Hoxby. And if it's not, then afterwards you can post it into Hoxby Marketplace. Basically, Hoxby Marketplace is just a way to benefit from being a Hoxby and everybody's connections across the community. As a very general benchmark, we say for a Hoxby High Five, a revenue potential of £15,000. But again, that can vary hugely because it depends if there is potential for more spending in the future. So it may be less to start with, but it might grow. It might be something that is small but consistent. So it really can vary. So do go over to that channel if you think that you've got a potential client or opportunity to recommend to Hoxby. How do you as Hoxbies hear about work opportunities and apply? I've mentioned that a few times, so Hoxby projects and the department channels for your particular skills. Number 3, I've mentioned that, Hoxby High Five versus Marketplace. How does everybody keep connected when working remotely? So yes, we do all work remotely to respect the work style so that people can work whenever and however suits them. So we work through Google Drive, Meets, Slack, basically everything we possibly can do online. However, we do appreciate that being a freelancer can be a very lonely business. So we do also host regular co-working days and encourage everybody to do that if they so wish. So if you go over to the channel Hoxby Connect, you'll see things that have been organised. Same, there's local area channels, so you can go and see what's being organised in your local area. So as I say, if there is something being organised, great, join it, go along and meet fellow Hoxbies in real life. But if there's not anything happening and you want to make it happen, absolutely fantastic. We have some Hoxbies who host Hoxby Home Days at their house. We have others that regularly schedule them in various restaurants or pubs or cafes. So really any way that you want to, again, just keeping the community together as much as possible. In terms of how many people are in the community, at the point of recording, we are at about 800 Hoxbies across about 30 countries. And as a benchmark, about 33% on average Hoxbies are in paid work through Hoxby at any given time. That's obviously a number that we are looking to increase, and again, as much as everybody can play their part in terms of helping us with that, the better. But actually, interestingly, is actually a distinct improvement on a lot of other platforms, the job sort of platforms that we talked about before, where the average is something like about 9%. So it's a number that we're both proud of, but also actively looking to improve. So in terms of how you can get involved and start helping us change the world of work, if you haven't yet done so, there's a channel called The Meeting Room. Do head over there and introduce yourself. If you could please join a calls channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. We have a new Hoxby support channel, channels relative to your specialism. There's a typo there, my apologies anybody that noticed it. If you type in team on the channels list, you'll see all the different skills that we've got, but it's also listed in the pinned items on New Hoxby support. As I mentioned before, join the New Hoxby's Your Child channel and sign up for a task, and start applying for opportunities in Hoxby projects. One thing that's not listed here, because it's been a new launch and I need to update this presentation, is we have a really exciting mentoring scheme here at Hoxby, where there's the opportunity for you to either be a mentor or mentee, and that can be in any area that you want, either your professional specialism, perhaps you want to be a mentor about things all Hoxby or a mentee about things Hoxby. Really, it can be it can be anything that you are looking to work on yourself or looking to help others with. So if you go to the classroom and look at the pinned items, you'll see something from Caroline, Aurora there, all about that scheme, which I think is really exciting. And that really does, again, to say anybody that doesn't feel too comfortable with Slack, any channel that you go to, you will see an option to look at the pinned items. And I strongly recommend you go and take a look at those, because it's basically essentially items that have been highlighted as very important in that particular channel, which will save you from having to scroll up and down through months and months worth of messages. So I think that could be really useful. And just to really say that last point there, then, that don't wait to be asked, get involved. You are now part of the Hoxby Collective, and we would love to have you getting involved in changing the world of work as much as you have time and enthusiasm for. Usually I would pass over to you for questions, but as this is a recording, unfortunately I can't do so. But I hope that was really helpful to everybody. And as I say, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you want to ask anything further. Again, my name is Lisa Ishan and my surname is spelled Ichane. Thanks very much, everybody.